Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations, and today we are going to be making this card project using the Butterfly Basics stamp set. Here's the Butterfly Basics. It has coordinating framelits as well that go with the butterflies, but we're just going to be doing the stamping. It is sort of a one-layer card. You could actually make this a one-layer card if you wanted to, the way that we're doing, because we're going to be doing some masking. But I chose to layer it up because I just felt like there was too much white. So let's go ahead and get started. Our piece that we're going to be stamping on is a piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 3 3/4 by 5. I am taking a piece of Post-it note tape, and I'm going to mask off about a 1.5 inch area up here at the top. And now what I'm doing is I'm just lining up the card with the grid lines on my mat here, and I'm just going to lay this. Obviously you can see I've used this before, and then I'm just going to eyeball but I'm going to line up the bottom of my tape here with the grid lines. This also helps keep it secure while you're stamping so it doesn't move around. Okay? So I'm going to take the fern image, and I'm just going to ink up the top piece here. I don't need the whole piece because obviously it's not going to fit, and I don't want it to extend. It's bigger than this piece that I've masked off. And then we're going to do some stamping off. So we're going to do a full strength, move over, and then that's the stamped off piece. And you want to make sure you're balancing this. So just make sure when you're stamping that you're getting a nice balance of your images. Remember, you want to do things in trios if possible, unless they don't really make sense for the project. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this a little bit, and I'm going to have it go at a different angle so it looks a little different. And then I'm going to do one more set down at the bottom. I'm actually going to do this one going this way, and then we'll go this way with the stamped off piece. Okay, and if you don't want to do the stamp off option, then you can always just take a lighter ink and do it that way, but I like the way that it looks with this, and I'm not using any additional ink for that. So that was in Wild Wasabi. Sorry, I don't think I mentioned that. It would have been on the screen. And now I'm going to go in with the flower image, and I'm just going to ink up this little flower, not the whole stamp, just the flower. And thankfully it's strategically placed that you can actually do that. I'm going to use Strawberry Slush for that, and I'm just going to, you can see, I'm just going to ink up right here in the corner of my stamp pad just that flower, and I can thankfully just get that. That's all I need. So now I'm going to go ahead and start stamping that, and make sure that when you're stamping, you're actually stamping onto your mask as well. That didn't stamp very well. Because you want to make the illusion that you've got a piece that's covering, your sentiment piece is going to be covering. So thankfully that went right over. Now I'm going to actually re-ink that because I think I may have taken all the ink off with the second stamping. So we'll do another full strength one down here. And so what I meant by that before was, I don't know if you can see, but I'm stamping actually onto my masking tape so that when I pull it off, it's going to appear that the flower is coming from underneath of my sentiment. Okay, I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to put one over here. Okay, and then just, like I said, it's just a lighter version. I think I'll do maybe one more. Change the direction. Okay, and then do a stamped off version up here. Alright, so that's that piece. And now I'm going to come in with the smallest little flower and Perfect Plum ink. And you're going to want to do the same thing. So just ink it up, full strength, and then the stamped off version. Make sure you're overlapping images to give the illusion of somewhat of a garden. Okay, I'm going to do a full strength up here. Whatever looks good to you. You could, again, not even do the stamp off version. And I don't actually think I need any more. Just add one maybe down here on the, just to kind of pull it down. Okay, so now that's all for the garden piece. I'm going to peel up my Post-it tape, and just be careful. It's just Post-it tape, so it should not tear your paper, but just in case, you just want to be careful that you don't over pull. So that's like my favorite part, is pulling off that tape, because now, as you can see, we've got this image that is coming out from underneath of where we're going to put our sentiment. I am going to go ahead and stamp the border next in Pool Party ink, because I want to make sure that I leave enough room for this piece. And if I stamped my sentiment first, I don't know that I would line it up just right so that I've got the right amount of spacing. Now I'm going to try to do my best to not get my head in here, but still line this up. What you want to do is you want to try and line that up with that line of stamping that you created right there. Okay? This will be much easier for you since it's not in a camera and you can see right on top of it. Okay, so that's done, and now we're going to go ahead and get our sentiment, and I'm using the Happy Birthday and my Memento Tuxedo black ink. And in order to make sure that you get nice, crisp black images, I would recommend making sure that your ink pad is nice and inked, nice and juicy. Okay, now I'm just going to center this. I'm kind of taking the top of the Happy and I'm lining it up with the border piece there. And I've allowed just enough space in there for it to center up nicely in between. Okay, and just give that a second to transfer the ink. Pull up, nice and crisp. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and start layering and putting it in our card together. Our Pool Party layer is a standard, just a 1/4 inch smaller than the card base, which is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to take our snail. Layer that right on top. Okay, and now we're just going to take that and we're going to attach it to our card base. Oops, I got some sticky on there. Okay. Our card base is a standard 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, Whisper White. And we're just, like I said, we're going to center this up and layer it right there. There you have it. There is basically a 1-layer card, if you think about it. It's a 1-layer stamped card. Here's my original. And I hope that you like that. Give it masking a try. You could, if you don't have the Post-it masking tape, then you can easily just take a piece of Whisper White cardstock in the desired width that you want and just secure that down to your work surface on top of your masking. So you do not need to have this tape. It just makes it a little easier because it holds it down at the same time as covering it up. So I hope that you liked today's card project. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment. And I'll see you guys soon.